Hey plant fam! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jacqueline. This is part of my jungle, and if you're not new here, thank you for coming back. So, if you've been here, you guys, it's 2024, in case you missed it. If you've been here since the beginning of last year, then you would have seen me do my 2023 wish list. And I like to do this at the beginning of every year because I think it's fun to then look back and see how many of them I actually got. So I thought it would be fun today to go back and look at my wish list from 2023 and see how many of those plants I actually got, whether or not I still want the ones that I didn't get, and then we're going to add on to our 2024 wish list. I was gonna say playlist. Wish list. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so my original wish list had 12 plants on it, 7 of which were aroids and the rest were 5. I can math. And the other 5 were Hoya. So I'm gonna start with the aroids. And the first one on my list was the philodendron bicolor. Last year is when I really started getting into philodendron and monstera. I was super into, I still am, super into a long leaf. And with that said, the philodendron bicolor was definitely one that I wanted to get my hands on. And I did. I snagged one from Jax's Jungle pretty early in the year, but that one has just been like really slow growing for me and like really tiny. So recently my friends over at the Plant Ward had one for an insanely good price and it's huge. So I snagged it, and this is my philodendron bicolor. It's putting out a new leaf here. I definitely need to get it on a pole or something. I might chop it because it's got a couple of empty nodes right here, but I kind of don't want to because I don't want the growth to get stunted because I'm just glad that I have a larger one. So this is called the philodendron bicolor because it's got these nice dark leaves on top, and then underneath they're more of this like burgundy color. So, and they come in this really beautiful burgundy as well, and I just absolutely love it. The leaves will get even bigger and longer as you let this one climb. This is still relatively new to my collection, so I haven't really gotten her set up yet with a proper moss pole, but she's in a really nice chunky mix. This one originally would have been $95, but I genuinely think I got it for like $30 or something like crazy like that. So I was like, y'all are nuts. I'm gonna need that plant. So philodendron bicolor was the #1 wishlist plant from last year. I don't think I had them in any specific order, but I definitely really wanted this one. So I'm glad that I snagged it. Okay, so #2 on my wish list from 2023 was actually a no. I hadn't gotten it until like, what, last week, you guys? And it is the, ooh, this pot. The philodendron black cardinal variegated. Do you see this thing? I know it's not for everybody. The variegation is definitely unique, but I have it. And I think that's insane because I put this on my list legitimately not thinking that I was ever gonna get it because it was really expensive a year ago, and I got this one for just under $200, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly. So philodendron black cardinal was #2 on my wish list from last year, and I'm glad that we managed to squeeze it in right before the year was up. All right, we're on a roll, you guys, because #3 on my list was another one that I did get, and it's the philodendron Florida Beauty. So I actually imported this earlier in the year. I imported a few of them and I just saved one for myself. I'm definitely seeing spider mites on some of my philodendron. Ugh, that's irritating. You see me inspecting, that's why. Yeah, philodendron Florida Beauty. You can kind of see a little bit of webbing. It looks recent. There's no damage to the leaves yet, but I definitely need to get up there and spray. Yay! Anyway, so Philodendron Florida Beauty was number 3 on my wish list, and I snagged it. I do need to give her a better pull because these leaves are coming in small, but she imported really well for me, and she's been pretty easygoing and easy growing. And as long as I take care of these spider mites, we should be fine. I don't actually see them, I just see webbing. I have been using the SNS 209, so like it might be working because I don't actually see any spider mites. I just see some webbing. Interesting. Anyway, so that was number 3 on the list. Number 4 on my wish list from last year was the Philodendron Heterocraspidon. I got this one from Equigenera, and it's been on the struggle bus. Like, this leaf just has not unfurled. It also looks like it has a little bit of webbing. Wow, really? I haven't even been away for that long, and my plants are just like, screw you. But yeah, Philodendron Heterocraspidon is a really beautiful long leaf philodendron with these like ripply, weird leaves, and I mean, I'm hopeful. It's healthy minus the little bit of spider mite webbing that I'm seeing. Philodendron Heterocraspidon was number 4 on my list, and I did snag it even though it's looking a little bit beat. It's looking a little bit sad. It's a philodendron, so I'm fairly confident that it's gonna be okay, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so number 5 on my list is one that I didn't get, and it is the variegated Philodendron Billy. The prices on these are still really, really high. They're hard to tissue culture. I don't think they hold their variegation. So, yeah, it's still gonna stay on my list for that reason, but we'll do like a whole separate list after this, but I still want it. It's still one of my like major wish list plants. It's just very expensive, and I've heard way too many stories about them reverting on people, and I'm like a little bit terrified. So maybe eventually they'll come down in price and I'll be able to snag one, but for now, we're still gonna hope and keep it on our wish list. Wish list plant number 6 from 2023 was the Monstera Esqueleto, and that plant is actually the reason why I know there's spider mites going on right now, because I just had to chop off the only remaining leaf that I had on the plant because it was covered in webbing. Unfortunately, Monstera Esqueleto is just a butt cut basically at this point, but I am confident that she'll start popping off some new growth. I can always chop back some of the nodes and get some growth going that way. It's just not top of the priority list right now, but we will do that. Let me know in the comments below if that's something that you guys want to watch me do. Show you how I propagate my plants from just a stump. So number 7 on my list from 2023 is probably my number 1 wish list plant still, and it is the Monstera Burl Marks Flame. I've had quite a few opportunities to snag this plant this year. The prices have come down a little bit, but not enough. So the thing with this plant is that it is a slow grower, and I want a big one. So I'm waiting for the prices to come down even more so that I can get a bigger one for a good price, a more mature one that's not gonna take 5 years to mature. I'd rather wait the 5 years to get a large, already mature one than wait the 5 years to try and grow one out myself. Does that make sense? So Monstera Burl Marks Flame is still right at the top of my wish list, and I'm always looking out for one that I can afford that is more mature, because it is a absolutely beautiful plant. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm so weird today. I am so sorry. Okay, so the next 5 that were on my list were all Hoya, and I didn't get any of them. I'm gonna link the video from last year for you guys if you want to go and watch that to see all 5 of the Hoya, but there was the Argentia Princess, Boontalk Silver, things along those lines, and I just like haven't really been spending money on Hoya. It's not really the best investment, like plant wise, because they do grow a little bit slower. So I have been investing more of my money in aeroids, and it's not because I don't love Hoya. I just already have so many of them that I'm like, do I really need more? I'm being very picky. So there's really only one that I'm still gonna put on my wish list, and it's not any of the 5 that were on my wish list from last year. As beautiful as those were, and as much as I would love to have those, there's really only one that I can see myself like spending money on. And we will definitely get to that, because now I want to hop into my wish list for 2024. You guys already know the top 2 is the Monstera Burl Marks Flame and the variegated philodendron Billy. So from there, in number 3, we have another Monstera, and basically I just want all of the variegated Monstera. So you guys already know how much I love my Tycons, I love my Albos, I love my little baby mint Monstera. It didn't go on this list for some reason, because it probably just at the beginning of the year wasn't on my list yet, but my list kind of grows as the year goes on, and eventually the Monstera Mint was for sure on my wish list when I started really getting into Monstera. So I do have that sport variegated one that I got from Lowe's. And with that said, number 3, I want green on green Monstera. I want the lava. There's a lava one. There's so many sport variegated and just like really cool Monstera deliciosa types out there, and I'm just gonna go on ahead and put all of them that I don't have here at number 3, because if I see one that I can afford, like, I will buy it if I don't have it. So you guys know how much I love them. My Oreas are like kind of a pain in the butt lately, but they're still beautiful. And I have a whole sea of Albo, so I'm really loving my Monstera. They are super hardy and really easy to grow and care for, and they're beautiful. So I want more in all of the varieties that they come in, and realistically they're expensive. So it's probably not a super realistic thing to have on my wish list, but I want one anyway. I want them all. Just all of them. So number 4 on my wish list this year is an anthurium. You guys, anthuriums have made it onto my wish list. Anthuriums have made it into my life, and there's really no going back from here. So one that I would really love to get my hands on this year is the Anthurium papillapalum linum. I don't know, you guys. I don't know how to say. I have to see it, and it's not in front of me right now. I just wrote pap. So I'll put it on the screen for you, obviously, and I'll show you what it looks like. It is beautiful, and I want one. And number 5 on my list is another anthurium, and it is the Ace of Spades, which is also beautiful, and I want one. But what I would also like is a hybrid of the 2. So I kind of am just gonna like lump all of these together as number 4 and 5, and then like, I don't know, 4.5 in there with the hybrid, because I want them all. And I'll take any Ace of Spades hybrid at this point in time. I just think it's a really beautiful plant, and I'm into the hybrids. I'm into the plant. I'm into the anthurium. It's a thing. So I'm sure I'll be adding even more as the year goes on to my wish list, because sometimes I just see them and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. Is it hard to keep alive? And if not, then I add it to my wish list. So that is number 4 and 5, the Anthurium Pap and the Ace of Spades. And I would also love a little combo of them both in one plant. Number 6 on my wish list is not really all that surprising, because I do love Heartleaf Philodendron. I recently like chopped back my whole entire micans. I'm pretty sure that it's dead, but that's fine. I would still like a variegated one. And although I think the Halo Micans is ugly, I think a lot of the variegated ones are just kind of like meh. I do really like the Aurea variegated Micans. So they have a little bit more of a yellowy variegation to them. I don't know, I have a thing for yellow variegation. I know it's not for everybody. Let me know in the comments below actually if you prefer Albo or Aurea variegation, the white or the yellow. I like both. It really depends on the plant. I do think that yellow sometimes can just be more striking. The yellow and the green together just, I don't know, they just go really well together. So on the Micans, that more velvety heartleaf philodendron, I just love the way the more yellow variegation looks, and I would love to get my hands on one. They're definitely attainable. It's just kind of finding the right one. I would want a larger one and just one that has good genetics, nice variegation. So I just haven't found the right one yet. So I would like to keep it on my wish list until I find one. So that is why it is number 6 on my list today. Okay, so number 7, I honestly would not have known even existed if I didn't see one at my friend Kayla's greenhouse. So over in Worcester, my friends Matt and Kayla that own the plant ward over there, they've got that amazing greenhouse that I've taken you guys to a couple of times. And she's got a variegated bird of paradise. And let me tell you, I've always loved the bird of paradise. I still have mine, it's just not here. It's at my mom's still because it was too big to bring here. And she can give it the really bright light that it needs. So it's still living at my mom's. Ideally, I would like to, you know, bring it with me when we move again, if we have the space for it. But now that I know a variegated one exists, I'm gonna want one of those. So I have no idea how much they cost. I've only ever seen one. I've never seen them for sale. So I'm sure they're pricey and super rare, but that's not stopping me from wanting one. So number 7 on my wish list for 2024 is a variegated bird of paradise. Okay, so number 8 shouldn't be surprising either, because this is one of my favorite plants, and it's not that I don't own it, it's just that I don't own it in a really big size and I want it. So it is the Marble Queen Pothos, but I want a big one on a totem with big leaves already. So if you guys remember, I saw one, it was on sale, and I'll never forget, for $120 in Mystic, Connecticut. We went to the cutest little plant shop, and I was like totally in love with this plant, and I didn't get it for some reason. My brain was just like, no. And then a couple days later, I totally regretted it, and I was like, do you guys still have it? I am thinking about coming back for it. And they did, they still had it. So I was gonna go and drive back for it. And then by the time, I think it was like a week later maybe, that I was like, all right, I think maybe I'll come this weekend to come and snag it. Like, do you still have it? They were like, no, somebody came and bought it after they saw your video. So I really shot myself in the foot on that one. And they were like, we'll try and get more of them from the grower. They reached out to the grower, and the grower didn't have any left. So it's safe to say that I was devastated, and I'm still devastated. That's like just a dream plant for me, and I've been trying to grow mine and it's just like not working. So for that price, I just don't think I'm gonna find one again like that, but a girl can hope, right? And it's still on my wish list, even though it's kind of heartbreaking to think about. I would still love to find one day that's already big, because I'm a cheater. I don't want to grow it out myself, but like I will. It's just, it's still really sad. But number 8 on my list today is a big Marble Queen totem, big leaves. Just, they're so pretty. Honestly, I like it better than any of my Monstera when they get big and fenestrated. So one day I'll have big epipremnum. I just recently put my epi marble on a moss pole. You guys would have seen me repot that with you. So hopefully that one will get nice and big for me one day as well, because I love a marble leaf and I love a fenestrated leaf. So number 9 is one that you've probably never seen before, unless you also just saw the same post about it on Instagram that I did. And it is a variegated philodendron Atabapoense. And I don't think these are going to be available anytime soon, but a girl can hope, right? I can dream, because this thing is beautiful and I love my Atabap and I love a long leaf. I love the billy for that reason, the bicolor, the heterocraspidon, like so many of these plants that I love are because they have that really elongated leaf, and the Atabap is just a really gorgeous philodendron, a really easygoing philodendron. In general, we recently repotted mine and put it up on a moss pole as well together, but I saw this variegated one out of Thailand and I was like, holy guacamole, that is beautiful. And when those start hitting the US market, I am definitely gonna have my eye out for one. So number 9 on my list is the variegated philodendron Atabapoense. Atabap is easier. And then number 10 is finally the only Hoya that I'm putting on my list this year, and it is not the same as any of the ones that I put on the list for last year, because I had to really think about what is the one Hoya that I would feel comfortable spending extra money on right now, like dropping money on. And you guys know one of my favorite Hoya in my collection, just like period, is my Hoya Ganung Gading. It's just beautiful, it's veiny, and it's a staple. Like, it's one of my go-tos, it's one of my favorite, just like period. So when I found out that there was a silver variety, obviously I have to have it. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I love a silver leaf, and this is one of my favorite Hoya. And I know that it's like a hardy Hoya, so I would feel more comfortable spending money on it because I'm a little bit more confident that I could keep it happy and growing, and that I wouldn't just be like 2 leaves from now until the end of time. So that's it for my wish list for 2024, you guys. Let me know if you have any of these plants on your wish list as well. I'm not mad, and I'm actually a little bit surprised by how many I managed to get off of my wish list from last year. So let's see how 2024 goes. A lot of these are pretty pricey, so I didn't do myself any favors with that. And like I said, this list is going to change and grow throughout the year, but I don't know, I think it's a really fun thing to look back on and see where my head was at too. Like, I was very clearly obsessed with philodendron, and it's funny to see now more anthurium on the list and only one Hoya on the list, when my whole entire list used to all just be pretty much Hoya. So it's interesting to see how we grow and evolve as plant parents. I think it's a really beautiful thing. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me. If you did, you should definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. There's a join button down there if you want to be part of the official plant fam. Get yourself some perky perks. If not, there's a super thanks button if you want to super thanks me. Everything is appreciated. Cannot do this without you guys. I love you so very much. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are out there in the world. Don't forget to spread kindness. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you in the next one.